It's your first look at the blockbuster documentary that reveals new chilling information about the mysterious death of actress Brittany Murphy.
Investigators probing the Epstein files have turned their focus towards Hollywood celebrity Ashton Kutcher.
Jeffrey Epstein's victims have long said they believe they were being filmed by the ex-offender. And this footage from a spy cam style camera inside Epstein's Palm Beach house appears to show just that.
Ashton Kutcher built his career on being likable, a celebrity who cared about and for decades, his image was untouchable. But now, shocking new allegations are alleging that investigators probing the Epstein files have turned their focus toward Ashton Kutcher, as disturbing new information allegedly surfaces about his ties to a massive blackmail and unaliving machine running through Hollywood. We are talking about a series of high-profile unalivings, including 2 of his girlfriends, one of whom was the actress Brittany Murphy. So today, let's look into Ashton Kutcher's past, his questionable ties to convicted offenders like Diddy and Danny Masterson, and now, allegedly, Epstein. And let's answer the question the whole world is now asking. Is Ashton Kutcher the man he pretended to be, or is there something darker beneath the smile?
In 2013, her father told Inside Edition that he believes she may have been with rat poison.
Do you believe your daughter was murdered?
I absolutely do.
Something made her sick. A healthy 32-year-old doesn't just die.
When the Epstein files were unsealed, the public expected names, politicians, royalty, financiers. What they did not expect was for the spotlight to shift toward one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. For years, Ashton built up this image as a goofy, lovable prankster. However, recent investigations into the Jeffrey Epstein files have shifted focus towards Hollywood actor Ashton Kutcher amid disturbing allegations. An Epstein survivor has accused Kutcher of playing a significant role in a massive trafficking network operating within Hollywood, implicating him in the deaths of several young women, including his ex-girlfriend, actress Brittany Murphy. According to the survivor, Kutcher was involved in luring victims into the network. More shockingly, he is alleged to have blood on his hands connected to a series of high-profile murders. This network reportedly spans the 2000s Hollywood scene and involves elite figures. And once word of this started spreading, people freaked out. Unfortunately, in this world, those involved in the Epstein class will never get arrested. They are the untouchables. I mean, look at all the cover-ups by authorities at all levels who look the other way. Never ever liked him slimy, sleazy creep. Brittany was far too beautiful inside and out for him. Evil liars. If that is true, even partially, why haven't persecutions been initiated on all of them? Now, I have to stress that all these are alleged claims, but despite this, the Epstein survivor claims Kutcher's ties to Epstein are just the beginning of a deeper, darker involvement. And if you look at his past friendships, you will start to see that. In September 2023, Danny Masterson, Kutcher's co-star, close friend, and by Kutcher's own description, a man he deeply admired, was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. Danny was accused of the R word by multiple victims. These were crimes spanning years inside one of Hollywood's most protected circles, and Ashton Kutcher wrote him a character letter. A detailed personal letter was submitted directly to the sentencing judge, the same judge who had just heard testimony from the women Masterson had violated, women who sat in that courtroom, women who had spent years fighting to be believed. Kutcher called Masterson a role model, as he described his character, and he asked for leniency. His wife, Mila Kunis, wrote one too. Now, when the letters became public, the reaction was immediate and devastating. Masterson's victims spoke out, and the internet erupted. And Kutcher, the man who had built an entire public identity around protecting vulnerable people, was suddenly explaining why he'd asked a judge to go easy on a convicted R-worder. Now, with all the backlash, it was no surprise that the apology came quickly.
Aware of the pain.
Fierce backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis as they apologized for the character letter calling That 70s Show star Danny Masterson an outstanding role model and exceptional older brother figure with a caring nature.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years. So that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and we're sorry.
One of the women Masterson was sentenced last week of known only as Jane Doe number 1, is slamming their apology. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful. Chrissy Bixler, another Masterson accuser, blasted Kutcher. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor, referring to Masterson. But others today say they deserve some slack.
Yeah, there's no way that they were denying what had happened to the victim.
No. Now citizen sleuths looking for insight into Kutcher's relationship with Masterson.
Now, Ashton and Mila expressed their support for the survivors, and they called it a mistaken judgment. But here's what the apology didn't address. It didn't explain why, after years of public accusations against Masterson, accusations that were widely known inside Hollywood long before any courtroom, Kutcher still considered him a role model. It didn't explain what he knew and when he knew it. And it didn't explain why a man who testified before Congress about protecting children used his platform to shield a predator from consequences.
Now citizen sleuths looking for insight into Kutcher's relationship with Masterson have uncovered cringeworthy lost clips of the actor discussing a then 16-year-old actress, Hilary Duff, with whom he starred in the 2003 movie Cheaper by the Dozen.
She's one of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18.
Then there's Sean Combs. Diddy and Kutcher were not just casual acquaintances. They were photographed together repeatedly across 2 decades. Ashton Kutcher attended his events, moved in his circles, and existed comfortably inside the world Diddy was building, the same world that federal investigators have dismantled piece by piece. Since Diddy's arrest, the names and faces connected to him have been examined with a level of scrutiny that Hollywood has never faced before. Who knew about his parties, who attended these parties, and who said nothing?
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
As it stands, Kutcher has never addressed the Diddy connection publicly, not even once. And for a man who built his brand on transparency and advocacy, that silence is loud. Now his name is surfacing in broader conversations about Hollywood accountability. Online, in forums tracking the Epstein document releases, in the same spaces where a year ago other names appeared that are now attached to federal charges. None of that is a conviction, but here is what is true, what is documented, and what no publicist can erase. Ashton Kutcher wrote a letter defending a convicted Danny Masterson. He built a friendship with Diddy, who is now serving time for his federal charges. He constructed an entire public identity around protecting children, and then used that identity to ask for mercy for someone who destroyed them. The gap between who Ashton Kutcher told the world he was and who the evidence suggests he actually is not small. And as the Epstein files continue to unseal, as the Combs case continues to expand, and as Hollywood's decade-long wall of silence continues to crack, that gap is going to get a lot harder to explain. Now, with all that in mind, if you look at Ashton's involvement with Brittany Murphy, a lot of red flags keep popping up. Brittany Murphy was just 32 years old when she passed away. At her peak, she had been one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces. Clueless, 8 Mile, Just Married, a film she made opposite the man she was dating at the time. Ashton Kutcher, they had moved in the same circles, shared the same industry, and then quietly the relationship ended, and Murphy's life began a slow, painful unraveling that nobody in Hollywood seemed particularly interested in talking about. By the time she collapsed in her bathroom on that fateful December morning, she'd been largely pushed out of the industry she'd spent her life building. Her acting roles had dried up. There were always whispers in Hollywood about why that was the case, given that she was a phenomenal actress. But the mysteries didn't end with her passing away. If anything, they grew even more.
Well, I think they knew that she was sick because she'd had this terrible laryngitis. And there was a period at about 3 o'clock in the morning, she was gasping for breath, and she actually said, "I think I'm going to die."
Can you feel any breathing? Okay, all right, let me carefully.
Were you there when they said she didn't make it?
They let us know at the same time that they
that she hadn't made it.
Now, the official cause of her passing away was pneumonia, iron deficiency, anemia, multiple drug intoxication, and natural causes. Her husband, Simon Monjack, sat with her body for hours before calling anyone. He gave interviews, he grieved publicly, and then, 6 months later, almost to the week, he died in the same house. Same cause of death, pneumonia. Murphy's father, Angelo Bertolotti, never accepted the official explanation.
Murphy's career. Today, new shocking allegations coming from her father, who says she was poisoned. And Murphy's father, Angelo Bertolotti, and family friend Julia Davis are joining us now from Los Angeles. To the both of you, thank you so much. I know this is difficult. I'm sorry for your loss. We appreciate you being with us because this is really shocking to a lot of people, hearing that you believe that she was poisoned. Mr. Bertolotti, why do you believe that? Why do you think that she was poisoned?
Well, it's very suspicious, and I read the reports on the toxicology reports, and everything sounds very, very, very more or less suspicious.
Brittany's dad pursued answers for years. He commissioned independent testing on hair samples taken from his daughter. The results, he claimed, showed levels of heavy metals, including rat poison compounds, inconsistent with natural illness. He pointed fingers at Hollywood and people who had wanted his daughter to be silent. And among the names that appeared in online discussions, in forums, in blogs, in the spaces where official narratives get pulled apart, was the name of her famous ex. No charges were ever filed, no investigation was ever officially opened, but Bertolotti kept talking until his own death, and the questions he raised have never been fully answered. Here is where the story takes a turn that is harder to dismiss as a coincidence. Brittany Murphy, her husband, Simon Monjack, and Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's children, a woman who was by multiple accounts preparing to speak publicly about things she had witnessed inside Diddy's world, all passed away because of pneumonia. 3 people connected, however loosely, to the same overlapping circles of Hollywood power, all dead of the same cause, all handled at various points by the Los Angeles coroner's office under the oversight of the same official, Ed Winter. Winter died in March 2023. Now, correlation is not causation. 3 pneumonia deaths across a decade are not on their own evidence of anything. The same coroner handling high-profile Los Angeles deaths is also not surprising. That is functionally how coroners' offices work. But here is what is worth sitting with. Kim Porter was reportedly preparing to publish a memoir. People close to her said she had things to say about what she had seen inside the dark world of the Hollywood elite, the parties, the network, the things that powerful men do when they believe nobody is watching. She died before it was published. Her memoir, if it existed in complete form, has never surfaced. And Sean Combs, the man federal prosecutors now allege ran a decades-long criminal enterprise involving coercion and abuse, has never been asked publicly about the timing of her death. Brittany Murphy's story sits at the intersection of everything this channel has been covering. A young woman was pushed out of Hollywood under circumstances nobody fully explained. A father who spent years insisting his daughter was murdered. A web of connections to Kutcher, to Combs, to a coroner's office now scrutinized by people who don't believe in coincidences that has never been properly examined in any official capacity. Was she silenced? Was her death natural? Was her father right? We don't know. And that's exactly the problem. Because in a functioning system with functioning accountability, those questions would have been answered 15 years ago. Instead, we're still asking them. The Epstein survivors' revelations paint a grim picture of Hollywood's dark underbelly, implicating Ashton Kutcher in murder, and cover-ups. As investigations continue, more secrets may surface, exposing the elite network and bringing justice to victims. I am just curious what shocking things the investigations might reveal. Anyway, do you think we have heard every dark secret connected to this story?